We're gonna do a video on the moon in Virgo, sun in Scorpio. Wake up in the morning, pockets on E. Yeah, you know, living this life ain't free. Freedom ain't free. Freedom again, drop science like Orion, flex on. Still savages, just don't see the blood packaged up. Didn't wanna make a D, pressing one, but the truth is more than pleasure. Think about Lil Wilbur, just a fellow organism. I thought we all equal. Don't step on ants, don't step on plants, or support our breath. Look, we cutting trees down. Do you even care? We killed everything on earth now. Life in the jungle, though I don't mumble. Constant, conscious, so reckless. Enter this game to change it. I rock, pose of earth with my statements. Teacher, master, rhymer, with the KRS and bombarded. Wake up in the morning, pockets on E. Yeah, you know, living this life ain't free. Gotta get a dollar shown, freedom ain't free. Wake up in the morning, pockets on E. Yeah, you know, living this life ain't free. Gotta get a dollar shown, freedom ain't free. Don't. The drama, hot as the sun, to show love and we give it back. No rear view on a spaceship. 24K PNAK soon, bigger than Jay-Z. Ha, ha. And that's all on me, the 808 feet salivating. Soon the show worth kilo. Nubian, descended from the cosmos. Descended from the cosmos. From the cosmos. Wake up in the morning, pockets on E. Yeah, you know, living this life ain't free. Gotta get a dollar shown, freedom ain't free. So, all right, we're gonna get into it with the moon in Virgo and the sun in Scorpio. This is all gonna be about the influences with the current planets, right? So essentially the astro weather report. So keep in mind, moon in Virgo is essentially a very worrisome sign, all about the details and very invested into the intricate things about life. So essentially, Virgo's always going to be able to pick out, oh, you didn't fold your shirt. It's like got a bunch of wrinkles in your shirt. Or like, oh, did you actually brush your teeth this morning? Like, kind of stink. You know what I'm saying? Virgo will be able to tell you everything about yourself. So keep that in mind. So moon in Virgo with the sun in Scorpio is seeing the opportunity to transform those details and feeling comfortable with those details and taking action upon transforming them, right? So, like I said, we have the moon sextile and the sun, right? And then we also have the moon sextile and Mercury, both in Scorpio, right? So Scorpio is a sign that's all about transformation and all about rebirth and seeing behind the scenes. So essentially, we're seeing the opportunity to feel comfortable with the details that we're essentially going to take action upon rebirthing, right? So with all this being said, we have, like I say, the sun and Mercury being here. So Mercury and the sun being the same sign, our thoughts and also our actions are on the same circumstance situation, or essentially in the same energy, right? So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's actually in the chat for the right things, you feel me? Other people in the chat for some other things. I don't know what they're talking about, you feel me? But yeah, so you asked, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the moon in Virgo with the sun in Scorpio and all the alignments pertaining to the moon in Virgo particularly. And then I'm also going to be breaking down the other alignments that are going to correlate to this moon in Virgo and what we're going to actually be experiencing, right? So essentially, we're going to be having a square as well, with that being said, to Jupiter. Jupiter being in Gemini. So Gemini and Virgo are a square, a 90-degree angle, a learning process. So essentially, with this being said, we're going to be having to learn to feel comfortable with the details of expansion, right? And feeling comfortable with those details of expansion that we're communicating about, or communicating about the right thing, or learning to communicate essentially about the proper thing to expand our circumstance situation. Then we also have Venus being a Sagittarius, and Venus being a Sagittarius is all about love, value, and appreciation of our ways of being far out or just kind of going for things. Keep in mind, Sagittarius is like the wild card. So it's gonna, and also being free. So like Sagittarius is either a traveling sign or they want to escape. So essentially, they're always trying to reach a certain plane of existence. So essentially, Venus in Sagittarius is allowing you to achieve that higher realm or be able to see, like, okay, this is like higher realm, as in, like, okay, I can see something happening in the future. Keep in mind, fire sign see, right? The fire sees, the water emotionalizes, the earth practicalizes, and the air communicates, right? But yeah, with all that being said, Venus in Sagittarius is seeing the opportunity, and pardon me, seeing the vision of whatever you want to accomplish based on your values or your appreciation. And we're gonna have to get rid of this individual. They're just talking I'm saying ridiculous. We'll just put it that way. We're gonna put you in timeout in 10 minutes. But yeah, all right. So yeah, with all that being said, like I say, we have the moon in Virgo, which is all about the details and seeing the intricate circumstance situations of our emotions and also kind of being worried about our emotions as well. So keep in mind, you might have some worrisome emotions at this point in time. So don't put yourself in a space where you're worried too much about things that you can't control. But yeah, moving forward, we have the moon squaring Venus, right? So the moon being emotions, we're going to learn to be more emotional about our values. And essentially, based on those values being a Sagittarius and the moon being in Virgo, these worrisome emotions are going to be something that we have to learn to actually be in a valued circumstance situation based on maybe being far out emotions and essentially far out value systems of a person, place, thing, or idea. So pretty much to put it all in a nutshell, the moon in Virgo square Venus in Sagittarius is learning to be more practical about our emotions that are kind of and value those far out circumstance situations. So then moving forward, we also have the moon trining Uranus and also Pluto, right? So Uranus being in Taurus, and the trine is all about the gift, the 120-degree angle. And just to finish up the square, it's like a pressure circumstance situation. Like, so either you kind of adapt to one side and you kind of decide to learn, or you're on the other end of the spectrum to a point where it's like, okay, you're going to be forced to learn. So it's like you might be forced to learn to value some things that are far out about oneself and forced to value those circumstance situations. But yeah, we got rid of the individual that's talking crazy. And shout out to Monkey Sauce. You let a cap. Word up. Thank you. Kind of fresh. You feel me? I don't be wearing hats too often, but sometimes y'all catch me in the hat. But yeah, moving forward, the moon trining Uranus is going to be in a circumstance situation where we have the gift to be an individual and ground these individual emotions. So essentially, these fixed individuality that we're working on is kind of in a circumstance situation where we're trying to be unique and ground that uniqueness. And the moon in Virgo is going to have this gift to essentially be more practical about those emotions. Like, okay, I might be in a circumstance situation where I realize that the details upon what I feel about oneself, these are very unique to oneself. So essentially, other people don't feel the same way that you feel. So you're going to have the gift to be an individual and feel comfortable with being an individual at this point in time. And then also Pluto being Capricorn. Pluto in Capricorn is in a circumstance situation where it's like towards the end of the transit, and we're going to be moving into Aquarius again. So essentially, it retrograded back to Capricorn from Aquarius, you know what I'm saying? And then now we're going to be finishing up this Pluto in Capricorn, right? And like I say, Pluto in Capricorn, Pluto is all about transformation, deep transformation, rebirth, or kind of like saying a death period. So you might have to put some death to the certain ways that you were practicalizing in a very powerful way. So like initiating and creating practical matters is Capricorn, right? Or being the boss of our transformation. So essentially, you want to go ahead and be in a space where you're transforming your life based on whatever house you have it in, and then also based on the Capricorn aspect of it, you're going to be able to be in a space where you're having deep transformation based on your business, your status, or what you're known for, and things that you make practical sense out of, right? So essentially, things that made sense in the past don't exactly make practical sense at this point in time. And based on the moon in Virgo, we're having the gift, 120-degree angle, trine to that Pluto, so that way we can actually feel comfortable being in the details. And those details, we're realizing, okay, these certain ways that I feel are actually creating a gift to actually transform our circumstance situations or transform our status, because we realize, okay, we can't stay in the same space. We have to actually change things for the better, so to speak. Then moving forward, we also have the moon in conjuncting the North Node, and we also have the moon in conjuncting Chiron, right? So like I say, the moon in Virgo is being worrisome or being critical about your circumstance situations, or feeling kind of worried about your health, essentially. So keep that in mind. And we also have this misunderstanding based on the North Node being in Aries, and also Chiron being in Aries. And Aries is the individual. So you're having an individual purpose, right? So based on you feeling a certain type of way and being critical about your emotions, you may misunderstand to a point that the purpose that you're working towards, or this kind of uncomfortability, you're kind of like shying away from that. So realize that just because things are making you feel uncomfortable and you're kind of dealing with things in a new space that nobody else has dealt with, that's okay. And you being a little bit worried about that, that's okay as well. You know what I'm saying? So like, or being critical to oneself. So it's like, to a point that sometimes with the moon in Virgo, you might be so critical about your circumstance situations that you don't really want to do anything. But realize with the North Node being in Aries, you might have this misunderstanding to a point. It's like, okay, am I going to let my worry override my actual purpose, and I'm not going to actually achieve my purpose and things of that nature? Perfect example for myself, tomorrow morning, you know what I'm saying, we still have the moon in Virgo, right? And it's going to be moving towards these Aries placements, right? And it's going to be in the same kind of degree space. So for me personally, I got something that I actually have to get up for tomorrow. You dig what I'm saying? But I'm like, okay, I still want to achieve my purpose and be my own individual and not be too worried about the way I'm feeling about things, right? And then also Chiron being the wounded healer of your individuality at this point in time. It's like, you've been hit so many times and so many people have tried to attack your individuality at this point in time. Now you're a little bit more wise about how to go about these things. So essentially, that wisdom, you may misunderstand things based on the moon in Virgo, because you feel uncomfortable being critical about your emotions and things like that. But your emotions might actually be true at this point in time, and you having these individual wounds or individual scars, so to speak, that actually taught you a lesson. You might be thinking like, oh, dang, is this something that actually applies to this current circumstance situation and this current way that I feel? And realize that might be a little bit of a misunderstanding. Go ahead and be your individual self and don't be too worried about the way that you feel, right? Then moving forward, shout out to Skeleton Lord. You said you back, you know what I'm saying? Welcome back to the gang, you feel me? Welcome back to the best video on YouTube, you feel me? Make sure y'all hit the like and subscribe, you know what I'm saying, when y'all enter the building. You dig what I'm saying, or enter the stream. And whenever you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell as well, so that way you can be notified whenever we go on live and I'm breaking down these energies. So you can be in tune with the movement you need to be in tune with, you feel me? And I'm going to get the computers puting, you feel me? But yeah, shout out to Cameron, right? Moving forward, last but not least, we have the moon opposing Saturn and also Neptune, both being in Pisces. And Pisces is that dream realm, or kind of like that the unconsciousness circumstance situation of the collective, right? Or this faith-based circumstance situation. So essentially, the moon opposing Saturn, right? We may feel kind of opposite to our ways of building and things of that nature, and things that we've actually built on in the past or continue to build on as a stepping stone. We kind of feel opposite to that, and we kind of feel uncomfortable or a little bit worried about what we're building, to a point, is this actually going to build the proper building? Can we actually have the proper support to actually support this dream? So either you can add on or oppose to that and be worried about that and just worry all day, being on the negative side of that opposition, or you can add on to it to a point where it's like, okay, I'm worried about it, but essentially I can be more detailed and realize that, okay, I do need to be present every day and have a routine and pattern and feel comfortable with that routine and pattern to actually be on the proper side of energy, opposing the Saturn energy and things of that nature, being in Pisces, right? And then Neptune also being here, Neptune being the dreams, illusions, and nightmares, right? And it actually being at home in Pisces, it's to a point that you feel kind of comfortable worrying and adding on to that dream, you know what I'm saying, based on like kind of like the Saturn energy, but to a different aspect. It's like, okay, I have this dream, and do I actually feel comfortable with this dream? Can I add on to this dream, right? Or am I in an opposite space to a point where it's like I kind of feel uncomfortable and I'm worried about how people are going to look at me, and I'm worried about how people are going to imagine what I'm doing, or how I'm going to imagine what I'm doing as well. To a point that it's like, okay, if you spend so much time just thinking about things, you won't actually achieve anything. And that's what Virgo season taught us. So you want to apply that to whenever we have the moon in Virgo, and essentially do things, just go ahead and do it, you know what I'm saying? Instead of just thinking about it and worrying about it all day. So yeah, we go ahead and break down all the rising signs, first to the 12th house in this next video. So go ahead and check that out, you know what I'm saying? Hit me in the email if you had any kind of questions about this live stream, or if you want to get any kind of reading and get more insight upon your chart, your natal chart essentially, your progress chart, or other circumstance situations. Go ahead and email me, and I'll give you a menu of what we got, kind of things I'm offering. But yeah, also if you had just a question about the live, you wanted to let me know a little personal thing, go ahead and hit me in the comments if it's, you know what I'm saying, comment worthy to a point that it's like, okay, you want to share that with the public, or if it's kind of more of a private matter, go ahead and email me and we'll keep that between you and I, you know what I'm saying? Peace and love, you believe in all that, you know what I'm saying? Stay safe or stay dangerous, whatever's necessary. You're... Check me out in this next